Blazing Dominion has landed, and is that plants? And make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more us content. So the Mogi Championship just happened, and this event is actually very, very interesting just for the amount of interesting meta challengers that was kind of spread across, this new format. You kind of get the chance to see, how certain decks are going to be performing, while at the same time, kind of getting a feel for why X deck is doing well. Now, for this event, we had two cool tunes coming out on top. I'm not really all that surprised, because the new Harmonium hand trap is really, really strong. But also, to top things off, the deck it got a lot of custom tools to finally be a new meta challenger, and I think that's kind of cool. We also had two Draco Tail. Truthfully, if you expect Draco Tail to be leaving anytime soon, I think you've got some very big surprises still to come. We did get to see Vanquish Soul coming out on top. I'm not too surprised about that. Teller Knights, Rank 4 Turbo doing their job. Elven Notes bringing the Synchro Pile. We also had two Mitsurugi variants bringing up the rear here. The way it looks, you shouldn't be surprised to still see Mitsurugi doing well. The OCG still has multiple Habagiris. They have access to the Demise. Truthfully, I think just having access to the Demise makes the deck feel way better than it actually is. So that's kind of a nice little piece. We do get to see Lunalight action as well. Labyrinth also had a chance to make a special guest appearance, but I think the list that really was the most interesting to me was actually seeing like Plant Link or Sun Avalon actually coming back into the spotlight. This is a deck that really hasn't had a lot of recognition over time because it just kind of rode off into the sunset. But when you make Plant circular and give it to the deck, there has to be some sort of usability for this. Let's pass on over to deck list. This is where you get to see a lot of the new tools coming together for the Cool Tune deck. And you also get to see, wow, the Harmonium monster is incredibly strong. You also do get to see down here in the side deck the new Solemn card really coming to fruition. I think that was one thing that we were really wanting to see was, is the new Solemn going to make a splash when Judgment is still running in the background as a potential 3-of? And I do think the answer is certain variants are going to jump towards us, but it's really going to depend on, how the deck feels. Also, it looks like Desires is going to have a brand new home in this deck as well, all things considered. It makes sense. Next up, we have Draco Tail with the triple Fallen of White. This is a sad realization for those of you here in the TCG that you're going to have to pick up triple Fallen of White to be able to even look at Draco Tail kind of going forward. Because once again, the package upgrades the consistency of the deck by a lot. And that's the thing, right? Like, you're looking for your deck to get new forms of consistency. Thank you, Forbidden Limited List, for actually using this correctly. But we do have a second copy of Branded Fusion versus the OCG, who only has one. So we'll see if that's going to make any sort of difference in the long haul. And then our last list for the first place team is actually going to be Vanquish Soul with a very small Rizal package in here. We've seen a little bit over time that being able to have a Rizal package has come up because when you start to reduce the amount of Vanquish Soul that this deck has access to, then, players are going to start to realize, oh, hey, we have to actually, kind of do something about the consistency. And also, one of them being a fire monster actually just helps the deck out so much. So I'm quite impressed to still see that Vanquish Soul has to evolve with all of these different toolbox options. Indeed. All right. Ooh, we have Teller Knights. So the reason why Teller Knights actually look like a very strong deck is because, truthfully, this deck just rank exceeds so quickly and is able to go through so many different layers to be able to get the job done and get the setup for the end boards. It's actually very, very strong. And also, you naturally get to have Dominus Purge built into the deck because, your deck is Earths and Lights. You're not really going to be dedicating to too much other craziness, which I think is kind of cool. Also, getting access to Durandal feels a little bit unfair in some scenarios, but, we like it. Next up is more Cool Tune, and once again, you get to see Harmonium being up and front and center in these lists as an actual 3 of, because the card just helps out this deck so much. I do see that we've gone with the cross out in this build. I see that we are side decking a Lightning Storm in this, which is kind of an interesting tech choice, but okay. I also do see that we are playing the Visus Synchro in here as well, or the Mana Diem. It's kind of cool. We're also going with 2 Malong and a Pack Bit. So you've got some different little options that you can fling at your opponent to be able to get those interruptions. It's actually kind of nice to see workable numbers. Ooh, we have White Forest Elven Notes. So I guess this is the new deck that a lot of players are kind of gravitating around with, because, you know, the White Forest stuff is just good generic synchro options that we can just reverse back build into White Forest. And guess what? You get this extra little level of synergy that's able to work out for the deck. And honestly, I mean, still having access to OSS does make a difference. So this is the new synchro pile. Truly, I mean, combining the best of both worlds with the White Forest stuff and the Adjudicators is actually really, really strong. Next up, we have some Mitsurugi action. And honestly, Mitsurugi getting to play the new Harmonium is, well, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised about this. You know, getting locked out of your extra deck for a certain type isn't all that strange, considering that, you know, as long as you've got triple Amino Habagiri, your deck is able to basically explode and be able to play the game. Also, guess what? Triple, the new Dominus Trap, is able basically to clean up whatever problems that you're going to have. So, yeah, this looks like the way that Mitsurugi is going to be gravitating and evolving. And you know what? I can't say that I'm surprised about any of this. Next up, we have Lunalights actually playing the Apex Fusion. This is something that we've been seeing quite a lot of different duelists actually stepping up and testing out Apex Fusion over the weekend here. And I think the answer is it's probably good. I do see down in the side deck, we have the triple heavy poly, which isn't all that surprising to see. We also have the Necrofusion, and would you look at that? A deck is actually choosing to play the Featherstorm. Well, when you have actual natural synergy to access Castel, which is a wing-wing beast monster, you know, you may as well take advantage of it. And then we have more of the super special, awesome Habagiri Turbo. This build actually playing the triple Harmonium, but they only chose to play 2 copies of the new Dominus Trap card in the main deck. I think that's actually fine. And of course, you get to see how stupidly good their choices for extra deck are. Leaving Herald of the Arclight alone when you produced probably one of the freest searchers that you could hand a deck like Ritual is so crazy to think about. But okay, Konami. Next up is more Draco Tail. Once again, hey, you get to see the triple Fallen of White that you're going to be purchasing to upgrade your decks. Also looks like this build chose to play 2 of the new Solemn in the side deck. They're actually not even playing the OG Solemn, which is kind of interesting. I guess at a certain point, I guess you don't really need it, or you're like, the new Solemn gets the job done. But also, I mean, Dragon's Mind ends up being, you know, just a decent Solemn, I guess, because it's a free callback, and it's not like you don't have access to monsters with 2,500 attack points or defense points for you to be able to use that with. And then, of course, we have Son Avalon, or Plant Turbo, featuring triple Cactus Bouncer. I cannot say that I am surprised to see a Plant Turbo deck actually looking at Cactus Bouncer as a card, because being able to, you know, floodgate the opponent is going to be very, very strong. Also, Planet Circular gets the job done for this deck. It's honestly crazy that we hadn't really talked more about plant good stuff. I know that we're missing one card in the extra deck for making this dream a reality, but it's very, very cool. And then our last list is Labyrinth, which cool thing about this list is we don't have dimensional barriers, so, you know, a main deck is still fine. But holy Dominus, man. This deck is going to be powered by so many different Dominus trap cards. But I mean, this is kind of the result we were seeing with like the Odeon decks in the very early stages. You know, the deck's able to functionally do what it needs to do because all of it actually synergizes. So it's not like Labyrinth really needs to worry about triggering off their stuff and going, but interesting choices to say the least. So what do you guys think about this breakdown? Please comment down below what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back at the end day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.